On Mountain News this morning, the first U.S. court appearance for former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro prompted reaction worldwide. And the Trump administration is deploying around 2,000 federal agents to Minneapolis.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller, here with you on this Tuesday, January 6th. The time is now 6 a.m., which means it's time to check in with meteorologist Megan Desmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, tell us what is going on with this weather. I mean, 60s in the first week of January. It just feels absolutely bonkers to me.
Yeah, it's definitely misplaced for this time of year, but I'm definitely enjoying the warmer weather. And for a little bit of a return of some summer feel, we actually have some scattered showers returning into the forecast. Now, we aren't seeing that right now. Now we're just looking at a little bit of some clouds with building cloud coverage throughout the next couple hours. But keep in mind, as we head into the afternoon, you could have a chance of running into some of those pockets of showers. So maybe have an umbrella handy just in case. But in terms of temperatures, yeah, it's definitely not feeling like the first week of January. We're seeing some 30s out there, which is more on track, but other folks are seeing some 50s out there. I mean, in Hazard, it's 46 degrees. So not too bad of a start to your day. And by the time we head into the afternoon, it's definitely going to heat up. We're talking mostly the low 60s. So again, not bad, with high temperatures for the day being around that 4 o'clock time frame with plenty of cloud cover. And again, slight chance of scattered showers this afternoon. Caroline.
Thanks, Megan. This morning, former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are back in a Brooklyn detention center awaiting their next court date. The two pleaded not guilty to federal narco-terrorism charges in their arraignment yesterday, during which Maduro had a public outburst, proclaiming that he's innocent and was kidnapped from his home. In Washington, some top congressional leaders say briefings from the top Trump administration officials on Venezuela Monday led to more questions than answers. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
Clad in khaki and surrounded by security, deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores took their first trip to a Manhattan federal court. Inside, Maduro lashed out, declaring himself via a translator, quote, innocent, a decent man, and still the constitutional president of Venezuela, before the judge cut him off. He and his wife pleaded not guilty to federal weapons and drug-related narco-terrorism charges. Their next court date is now set for mid-March.
Both sides have waived their right to a speedy trial, meaning this could be quite a bit of time.
In Washington, key Trump administration officials briefed senior members of Congress on the Venezuela operation. Afterwards, top Democrats said they had more questions than answers.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
Lawmakers are also split on whether the U.S. is at war and if Congress should have been consulted.
We are not at war. We don't expect troops on the ground.
Without question, this is war. They bombed half of Caracas and then removed him.
NBC News reports that in a phone interview, President Trump said the U.S. is not at war with Venezuela, but with people who sell drugs. The president also warned the U.S. could take more action if Venezuela's newly sworn-in interim president stops cooperating. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Today, President Trump is set to address a closed-door meeting of House GOP leaders. Another lawmaker briefing with administration officials on the Venezuela operation is expected tomorrow. Crowds outside the Manhattan Federal Courthouse were divided Monday as many celebrated the end of a dictatorship and others stood against U.S. intervention. In Chile, the president-elect praised the action, saying it's good news a dictator has been arrested. But in London and Lisbon, there were demonstrations against the U.S. military operation. In Sao Paulo, Brazil, protesters burned American flags outside the U.S. consulate.
I'm concerned about the legality of going in and just kidnapping people, even though, on the other hand, I do believe this person is a ruthless criminal.
And Venezuelans now living in the U.S. are now focused on what comes next. A person is in custody after an incident at the home of Vice President J.D. Vance. Vance's home is in the East Walnut Hills neighborhood of Cincinnati. Cincinnati police say the Secret Service is handling the situation. Authorities are investigating whether an individual was targeting Vance or his family. They do not believe the person entered the vice president's home. The Trump administration is deploying around 2,000 federal agents to Minneapolis. Two law enforcement officials say the move is part of an immigration crackdown. Senior Trump officials have recently fixated on Minnesota and its Somali community after accusations of alleged welfare fraud. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin declined to offer details about the deployment. A new bipartisan budget plan could partly diffuse concerns over the next government shutdown decline. It costs about $180 billion. That's less than Biden-era spending levels, but more than President Donald Trump's initial budget request. The package contains funding for energy programs and scientific research, as well as the Justice Department and other agencies. The next funding deadline is January 30th. A U.S. Senate candidate is turning to coal country to lay out his vision for the future of energy and technology. Yesterday in Harlan County, Congressman Andy Barr toured a coal mine and announced a plan he says could put Kentucky at the center of America's growing AI industry. I was there. At the historic Portal 31 coal mine in Lynch, Andy Barr said coal is not a thing of the past, but a key part of America's future and national security.
To the critics of the coal industry who say that the days of coal mining are over, let me be very, very clear. Those people are wrong. They are dead wrong. In fact, there is a future for coal, not because we just want it to be the future. We have to have it in order for us to win the race for the future technologies.
Barr says demand for electricity is surging, driven by data centers and artificial intelligence. But coal-fired power plants have continued to shut down.
We're facing a self-inflicted energy crisis. We've lost about 290 coal plants to premature retirements over the last 15 years or so. That has removed tens of gigawatts of capacity over the past decade alone, and electric grid reliability is collapsing.
Rainbow Johnson worked in the coal industry for nearly 5 decades. He says energy reliability is critical for the country's future.
I experienced the ups and downs of coal mining through the administration changes. You can see that it's been down for many years, but we can vision the future of coal mining in this area for AI and the importance of energy throughout the whole country.
Barr says his plan focuses on bringing reliable power and critical mineral production back to Kentucky.
The race for AI is now. It's not 10, 20 years in the future. It's right now. And as the CEO of NVIDIA said, we are nanoseconds ahead of China. We are not light years ahead of China. We have to stay moving fast ahead.
Barr plans to push the proposal in Washington and make energy a central issue in his run for the U.S. Senate. During the announcement, Barr was joined by dozens of current and former coal miners, along with city and county leaders. Democratic Senator Reggie Thomas says he plans to submit a bill to raise the minimum wage in Kentucky. As of now, it remains at $7.25 an hour. Over the summer, the Kentucky Center for Economic Policy released a report saying that that's a 75-year low in purchasing power. Senator Thomas says he's filed a bill to change the minimum wage for 10 years now.
I'm going to talk about it as often as I can. We ought to pay them a wage that at least minimally, is something they can live off on, rather than relying on food stamps or a health care card or a voucher to live. Just meet their basic needs.
State Representative George Brown says he hopes to raise Kentucky's minimum wage during this legislative session. Meanwhile, Republican State Senator Matt Nunn of Sadieville has said he does not support a change, arguing a one-size-fits-all minimum wage isn't appropriate for a diverse Commonwealth. Starting today, Kentucky's community action agencies will begin accepting applications to the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. The program aims to provide heating assistance to homes in need during the winter months. Eligible households include those facing heating emergencies like imminent loss of heat or low fuel supply. Applications will be accepted on a first-come, first-served basis or until the funds are gone.
And we're still seeing a pretty large range of temperatures this morning, but altogether we're looking at improvements as compared to yesterday. So maybe opt for a jacket or a coat this morning, but by the time we head into the afternoon, I mean, we're talking 60s, not too bad temperatures at all, with the range between about 59 to 64 degrees, with a few folks outside of that range. 66 is the high in Monticello and Manchester, 55 in Wise. Now, in terms of what we're seeing in the clouds, we'll watch as these continue to roll on in, looking at a cloudy start to your day with slight chances of scattered showers entering in the forecast this afternoon and evening. So here's a breakdown of your day. High temperatures will be around that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time frame. And again, really starting to see those rain chances picking up this afternoon. Caroline.
Thanks, Megan, and thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News This Morning. Coming up, 2026 is projected to be another big year for travel after last year broke records. We'll show you what trends you might see in the coming months.